This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert. Alert. This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement.
Live from SmittyOne.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Take a lap.
Just when I thought I was going to have a nice little calm Saturday, we've got Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know if he was hacked or what's going on, but tweeting out breaking news. Deebo Samuel to the Patriots. WTFFFFF. First of all, this is not true. There's no evidence to suggest this at all. In fact, all of the evidence is to the contrary. Look, my job is to come on and put out fire sometimes, and it's not like I'm trying to perpetuate this, but I have people DMing me over and over and over. And when I get a massive amount of DMs and questions over and over, I know that you guys are seeking this information. So I need it to be very, very clear that I don't think this has any legs at all. And so much, I'm so confident in that at this point. I'm going to send Odell Beckham Jr. on his first take a lap for the 2022 season. I'm surprised this is Odell's first lap, but Odell Beckham Jr., take a lap, young man.
Take a lap.
So, Odell, take your lap. Deebo's not getting traded. But again, I've got to put out fires. It's smoke season. And I can't, like, if I get one DM on this, I'm like, okay, this isn't getting spread around too crazy. But when I get literally 50 DMs in like a 30-second period, and I get text messages from buddies, I get 3 or 4 at a time, you know that people are looking for the information. So it's my job to recognize the topics that you all are looking for. That indicates that an emergency live stream is in order when something's being spread around like this. So no, not true. But at the same time, we're going live, right? So why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone and talk about the rookie running backs? And right here, this is the ranking we did last night. By the end of the live stream last night, we came to the conclusion, or I did, that this was my overall rank for the rookie running backs and wide receivers. We're not throwing any quarterbacks or tight ends into the mix because, frankly, in a 1 QB situation, I don't rank these tight ends or quarterbacks in the mix here. These are all wide receivers and running backs for me in a 1 QB situation and setting. And this is what I came up with by the end of the live stream. We did kind of like a sandbox impromptu ranking session immediately live in person right in front of you guys, dragging players around. We had one player like Rachaad White starting off at 10, and then during my ranking session with you guys, he got drafted by the Bucs, so we had to put him at 5. And then I was like Kenneth Walker 3 or 4 maybe. I don't like his situation. By the end of the live stream, I'm talking myself off the ledge and saying, you know what, he's so good. And I'm not using Javonte sharing running back by committee situation from last year when I bring this up, but Javonte went to a very bad team with a bad passing game. Kenneth Walker will probably be fine. As much as I want to rank Garrett Wilson or Jameson Williams, a wide receiver, ahead of a running back like Kenneth Walker in a bad spot, I can't. So I've come to the conclusion that Breece Hall's the far and away number 1 tier break. Number 1 tier break. Then it's Kenneth Walker. Then it's Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams, and probably Rachaad White and Christian Watson for me. Sky Moore, I guess you could put Sky Moore at this like 7 spot pretty securely. Drake London and Treylon Burks are kind of tied for me for this next spot. I'm not a huge fan of quarterbacks in these scenarios where there's going to be a quarterback rotation at some point or a swapping out of quarterbacks. Drake London, his starter, maybe the rookie they drafted, Ritter or whatever his name is. Maybe it's not. They could have drafted Malik Willis several times, and the Falcons continued to pass on him. I don't really like Drake London's landing spot. Sky Moore, we'll see how the Chiefs use him. He's got a good opportunity. Christian Watson's in a phenomenal spot. Rachaad White's in a pretty sneaky good place, and you guys know how I feel about freaking Leonard Fournette. I'm not on board the Fournette train like so many are, and a lot of people saying in our Javonte Williams breaking news, Melvin Gordon re-signs. There are people left and right saying that Leonard Fournette was going to be better than Javonte Williams. The knee-jerk reactions were crazy. Rachaad White's a sneaky good player in an offense that Tom Brady's looking for somebody that can catch the football. This is the best receiving back in the entire 2022 NFL draft class. Rachaad White is Alvin Kamara 2.0. He's bigger, he's taller, he's stronger. Put Rachaad White in this situation with Tom Brady, and you got yourself a top 5 overall rookie potential guy. A little bit of risk, a little bit of like, okay, this could miss, swing and a miss, but maybe he lands. He's talented enough to become the second best running back in the draft class. He really could be. Breece Hall, far and away number 1 overall rookie. If you're drafting 1.1, you better not hesitate to take Breece Hall as your 1.1. He's in New York. He's in a phenomenal situation. They're going to be able to use him. I know Michael Carter's there. I will say this, though. For all the people excited about Breece Hall and not worried about Michael Carter, you better be the same people that's excited about Javonte Williams and not worried about Melvin Gordon. You can't have both. You can't have it both ways. You can't be excited about Breece Hall and not petrified of Michael Carter. It's got to be parallel. You can't be one way about one situation and another way about the other. the people reacting to Melvin Gordon re-signing and not seeing the value in it, not seeing the gift that is now Melvin Gordon to every Javonte Williams prospecting owner out there. Dynasty's different. You already own Javonte. You're a little upset. Your 2022 hopes could be a little bit, under attack. But I don't think it will be. I'm saying you feel that way. You've already bought and invested in Javonte. You feel a little slighted. I get it. But in redraft, Melvin Gordon is the best gift to Javonte Williams prospective owners that you could come across. And if you don't see it, you're not paying attention, because the impact Melvin Gordon has on Javonte's minimal, in my opinion. And if I'm wrong, it doesn't matter, because the value is completely baked in. And if I'm right, you win your league. If I'm right, and Javonte Williams is a top 5 running back, regardless of the threat of a potentially easily injured Melvin Gordon, who, yes, has played, he's missed a small amount of time in the grand scheme, the big picture, but he's always banged up. He's always played banged up. He gets banged up a lot, whether you want to look at that or not. If you want to just look at games played and not look at the fact that he's always getting banged up. He's a pedestrian 3.9 per yard per carry guy. He's been averaging more in Denver, because Denver's been blocking well and running the ball well. So he had good yards per carry last year. He had good yards per carry the year prior. But leading into these two seasons that Melvin Gordon just had, he was a borderline 3.9 to 4.0 yard per carry running back that needed volume. He needed tons of volume to get the touchdowns and to get the yardage. He is not a guy that's going to take anything away from Javonte Williams walking into a season where now they clearly want to use him as the starter. Javonte Williams is going to explode in 2022. Javonte Williams is the second or first best running back in the NFL talent-wise. You can say JT's better. I won't get mad at you. But Javonte Williams is arguably a top 2 running back talent-wise in the NFL, and people that are saying different are just, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that people want to root against a guy. I don't know. Like, even Ezekiel, my boy Ezekiel in here, I still appreciate you. You're still my boy, but you clearly have a stance here that it's head-scratching to me, that you think I'm standing firm and I'm not just speaking fact. Like, I'm not just doubling down or putting window dressing on this situation. I'm like taken aback by the fact that you could even say this statement, Ezekiel. I'm just taken aback. Like, I'm so shocked that people actually view Javonte Williams as he's standing firm, he's doubling down. Like, this is Melvin Gordon, guys. I don't care what he did last year. The Denver Broncos ran the ball well as a whole. It's not Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon's not special. If he's special, why did he average 3.9 yards per carry to 4.0 leading into the Denver situation? If Melvin Gordon's so special, why was he so pedestrian yards per carry wise walking into the Denver Broncos situation? Answer me that. He's not special. He's not special anymore. And Javonte Williams is a talent. This team had nothing to play for last year. Absolutely nothing to play for. Ziggy, show me the front door. Ziggy, show me the front door.
Someone is at the front door.
We know that. Ziggy, off. We know what we're getting in Javonte Williams. This is a situation where Javonte Williams will not be held off the field. This Denver Broncos team is ready to win. They're Super Bowl capable. They're Super Bowl bound. This team, in the next 2 years, I pretty much have a confidence level of in the 80s to 90s that this team, the Denver Broncos, will be in a championship game at least, if not the Super Bowl, within 2 calendar years, within 2 seasons. We're talking about a team that wants to make plays and a coaching staff that's going to recognize that when Javonte's on the field, it's a first down. He's a tackle-breaking machine. He led Jonathan Taylor in the entire NFL in broken tackles as a halftime running back in 2021. Do you think with more volume he's not going to do the same? Do you think he's not going to be in the top 1 to 2 in 20-plus yard runs? Do you think he's not going to be the top 1 to 2 in 40-plus yard runs? Javonte Williams is going to ball. Melvin Gordon's not holding him back. And if I'm wrong, guess what? You earn your value at 15 to 18 or 15 to 22 overall. This is the same place Dalvin Cook won you championships when everybody doubted him because he can't be a top 5 running back, Smitty. He's too risky. Top 5 running back. In every single intro video I did for 2 years straight, I had top 5 running back. That is what Javonte is. He's fallen into the late second round, and it's a gift. It's a gift that has all the risk baked in. And if you're not listening, if you're not enjoying this, if you're actually upset that Javonte Williams has been knocked down to 18 to 25 overall, you don't know a good thing coming when you see it, because this is a gift. This is a gift. Get ready. Buckle up. It's Javonte season. It's never been more Javonte season than it is right now. The question at hand is Breece Hall better than Javonte? Do you draft Breece Hall ahead of Javonte? Well, guess what? ADP dictates that you do. And until Javonte climbs back up ADP-wise, you are drafting Breece Hall probably ahead of Javonte. And that's okay, because Breece Hall could be a top 5 running back all in his own right. Breece Hall is facing similar competition, though, so if you are on board the Breece Hall train and you don't see Michael Carter as a similar threat to Melvin Gordon, you need to go to the eye doctor immediately. Drive to the eye doctor, let him know, Doc, I'm seeing double. I'm seeing Michael Carter and Melvin Gordon, but one of them doesn't look like they're off focus. This Michael Carter guy, he's not concerning me. Okay, Doc, what's wrong with my eyes? What's wrong with my eyes, Doc? Go ask him, get a prescription, get some eyeglasses, come back and enjoy the show, because you have a problem. If you see Michael Carter as a non-problem and you see Melvin Gordon as a problem, because they are similar in their threat to their starter. And could I be wrong in both counts? Could Breece Hall share too many carries in 2022? Could Javonte Williams heed the road to Melvin Gordon to the tune of 40 to 45% of the work? Sure. But guess what? Even Breece Hall in the second round is baked in. Javonte Williams in the second round is baked in. If Breece Hall and Javonte Williams are getting starter carries in 2022, guess what? In hindsight, they will be worth top 5 to 7 overall picks. So I'm not wrong. You're not wrong. No one's going to be wrong. You're either going to be pleased, relatively pleased, or you're going to hit it out of the park. And you're going to have a monster output for your cost of entry. Breece Hall, if he's a starter, explodes. Top 5 to 10 overall talent. If Javonte gets all the work and explodes, top 5 to 10 overall talent. If they both share carries to an uncomfortable degree, they're both earning their value. Let me show you what one of my favorite draft approaches is walking into 2022 fantasy football. I'm going to do a video on this later to more clearly identify and explain this process, but this is one of my favorite draft approaches heading into 2022 fantasy football. You take your third round pick. Here's your 4. You take your third round pick. Let's say you move your 5. You move your 5 and you move your 3 to move up to 2. Or even if you can get away with your 6, like give your 6 for free. So you do a 2 for 1. You give your 6. You give your, come on, marker. You do your 6th and your 3rd straight up for a late second. So you get a pick right here, a mid to late second. You give up your, your 3rd. You give up your 3rd and your 6th overall. Okay, if you got to give your 5th, you can do that. But let's start here. You give up your 3rd and your 6th. You give this free. You don't ask for a second pick in return. You only ask for a late second. If you get a late second round pick, you don't ask for a second. You make it a 2 for 1. That's what makes it attractive. Here's where you take let's say your original draft selections are in the middle. So you got this pick, and now you got 2 second rounders. Right here, let's say you take Jamar Chase. Right here, you take Javonte. Right here, you take Breece Hall. This is how you dominate 2022 fantasy football with one single trade. Trade your third, trade your sixth, get a second rounder. Now you can come out with your 2 running backs being Javonte Williams and Breece Hall, both of which are top 5 capable. This guy could be number 1 overall capable. You have 2 top 5 running backs. You have 1 top 1 to 3 wide receiver, and all you had to give up was your 6th rounder. Then what do? How do you make up for losing a 6th rounder, Smitty? I'll tell you. If you're drafting your quarterback in that spot, you could settle on the fact that instead of getting a Herbert or instead of getting a Russell Wilson, although you could get Russell Wilson potentially in the 7th round range, you go and get yourself a Trey Lance. You scrimp at quarterback, but in a very productive way, using that 6th rounder. This is the best approach ever walking into 2022. This is now my new favorite draft strategy walking into 2022 fantasy football. Let me redo this and make it more clear. So you give up your 6th rounder, you give up your 3rd. You trade a 6 and you trade a 3rd, 6 and a 3rd, for a 2nd. So now you have this pick, you have your original 2nd, you have your original 1st. You take Jamar Chase, you take Javonte Williams, you take Breece Hall. You dominate your draft. If you've got to give up the 5th rounder, I still would probably do it. This dominates your draft. Instead of taking your wide receiver here, your quarterback here, you take a guy like Lance later. You take whoever you want. Someone said Carr, take Carr. Whoever you want. Now you walk out of your draft. With Lance or someone like that as your quarterback. You got Breece Hall at running back. You got Javonte at your other running back. You got Jamar Chase as your number 1 wide receiver. That is a phenomenal way to start. 2 top 5 running backs, 1 top 1 to 5 wide receiver. Boom. One of my favorite strategies. In 2022, I'm all about it. Breece Hall, number 1 overall rookie. Kenneth Walker has solidified himself as my number 2 overall rookie. It took me about 12 hours to totally digest it and come to the conclusion that it sucks that he's not in a better spot. I wanted him in a better spot, but in the end, if DK Metcalf signs an extension and becomes a long-term option there alongside of Kenneth Walker, and they solve the quarterback situation within 1 to 1.5 years. I don't know if that's by trade. Even if it is a Baker Mayfield trade, let's say. Let's say the Seattle Seahawks pull off a Baker Mayfield trade. Now, I know that's not great for DK. You go from Russell Wilson in sum total to Baker. You got to give DK a little bit of a bump down in fantasy value. But look how Nick Chubb did. Nick Chubb did fine. Nick Chubb was good enough with Baker under center. Putting DK aside, Kenneth Walker can survive in a run-heavy attack that has a quarterback like Baker Mayfield under center. And DK and Baker will be efficient enough to move the football down the field. I know the offensive line still has some work to do. They're obviously addressing that right now. I think Seattle, at first glance, felt like a disaster. I think our expectations, similar to when the news hit about Melvin Gordon re-signing, it was like hit to the stomach. Okay, Javonte, a lot of people reacted. They overreacted. I feel like there was a natural sense, and even I fell victim to it for a few hours, sense to get so distraught about Kenneth Walker not falling into the place like Buffalo or the New York Football Jets, who I'm going to say Football Jets. Some of you are DMing me. It's the New York Football Giants, not your New York Football Jets. No, it's the New York Football Jets right now. I'm sorry, Giants fans, but you lost the term football. The New York Football Jets have taken over, and they have had the best draft I've ever seen and probably will see in the next 10, 15 years. The Jets have the best 4 selections the quickest you've ever seen in any draft. In the top 40, they drafted Garrett Wilson, arguably the number 1 or number 2 rookie wide receiver to a lot of people. They drafted Breece Hall, the consensus number 1 running back. They drafted Sauce Gardner, not only the potential number 1 corner or defensive back in this draft class, but possibly the best pick in the entire draft. And they got what some people say is the steal of the entire first round of Jermaine Johnson. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The Jets didn't just win the draft. They won the future. They won the future. The New York Football Jets are on their way. They're on their way. They're not even far off. They're in motion. It's not even like 2 years out. This is the Cincinnati Bengals 2.0, and it all starts now. Maybe they're hard pressed to make the playoffs in a very tough division and even tougher conference. Yeah, maybe year 1 it's a 10-win season and they don't make the playoffs. That's how tough this conference is going to be. Multiple double-digit teams are not making the playoffs in the AFC. But it's like this team is on its way. This team is on its way. There is no better draft you could possibly have. Kenneth Walker is just I think it's a letdown to see Breece Hall go there to New York and watch Kenneth Walker go to a much crappier situation. But in the end, when we're talking about Garrett Wilson, who I like, his situation, he's in New York. His situation's phenomenal. Jameson Williams, an elite talent that needs a quarterback. I think that will get worked out in the next year or two. Rachaad White, none of these guys are knocking Kenneth Walker off the 1.2. Are we a little bit worried about Kenneth Walker? Yeah. Is there more bust factor entered into the equation now that he's in Seattle? Absolutely. There's bust factor for sure. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat that. Kenneth Walker's bust factor went up a significant amount by being drafted by the Seattle Seahawks, but his upside and ceiling, I don't know that it really for sure gets leveled down. It's just a matter of he's got more risk. His upside and ceiling still remains top 5 to 10 from a fantasy and NFL perspective. It's just if he was in Buffalo or he was in New York like Breece Hall is, his bust factor would be minimal because he's such a talent. But now he has the same ceiling, the same upside, but a big bust factor. And that's just unfortunate. And we need to be prepared for that. We need to go in open eyes, not blind to the situation, and realize if we're taking Kenneth Walker at number 2, we are acknowledging that there is a significant risk that we're willing to take on, right? Jimbo with a super chat says 16 team 1 kick returning points. That's so hard. Josh Allen or Diggs number 10 draft slot. If it's super flex, is that what you're saying? Super flex? Yes. Loan. Did you say super flex? You said 1 times KPR kick return points, but you're not saying super flex. So number 10 overall, if it's super flex, Josh Allen, but he's going to go in the top 5. So my guess is this is not a super flex. So why would you take a quarterback in the top 10? Number 10 draft slot, you got to go Diggs. But I'd like to know who else is on the board, Jim, because I'm not sure that I feel like Diggs is for sure the top pick. But let me know what you're thinking. Swaggy says, I'm not touching that dude Walker. That's that bust factor. A lot of people are going to be scared off for him. A lot of people are scared off for him. Keeper league, still too high for Josh Allen to go at that 10 pick overall, Jim Bob. Just a little too high if it's a 1 QB league. Drake London, wide receiver 1. You know, Bradley, a lot of people agree with you, so I'm not going to send you on a lap or say that you're going to be wrong because too many people agree with you. I think far less people agree with me that I've got Drake London down here at like the 6, 7, 8 range. I think Drake London is going to have a rotation of quarterbacks until they find out who's their true and final signal caller. That could take a little time. I don't like musical chairs at the quarterback position for wide receivers. I think that makes for an inconsistent first couple of years. I feel like Kyle Pitts is already a veteran there in a sense, commanding a lot of volume, whereas Drake London's going to come in and try and learn the ropes. So if there's a certain amount of limitation to the passing production. I think that Kyle Pitts will absorb a lot of it. You also got Cordero Patterson commanding a lot of goal line work and red zone work. So I don't know. Drake London just feels like he's a little bit far away from being what maybe some of you think he could eventually be, and I'm on board with maybe thinking that's possible down the way. But you got a guy in Christian Watson and Sky Moore. They have a little bit better situation. And Christian Watson specifically, even though Aaron Rodgers traditionally brings rookie wide receivers along slowly, trusts them very slowly, we can't look at the past. Aaron Rodgers is in a tight window of time to try and win a championship. You're talking 1 to 2 years that I think Aaron Rodgers plays football. He can't wait around for wide receivers to develop slowly. Not to mention, it's not like he's a rookie drafted onto a deep wide receiver situation. So Watson's going to be needed. By necessity, they'll throw him to the fire, throw him to the wolves in a way, and he's literally going to have to learn quickly. And think Anquan Boldin in Arizona when he was a rookie. Anquan Boldin was thrown to the wolves, and he developed very, very fast. He was one of the first rookies to ever do really well as a rookie wide receiver. Back then, rookie wide receivers did not do well in their first year. It was actually like an anomaly when Bolden did well his rookie year, but he did so because there was no other wide receiver to catch footballs. So similar thing here for Green Bay. Green Bay will need Watson to step up fast. I think Sky Moore should be in a good situation to step up fast. Drake London and Sky Moore, wouldn't shock me if London outscored Sky Moore or Sky Moore outscored London. Treylon Burks, probably one of the most NFL-ready running backs in the class, but I don't know how I feel. Like, I could rank him right behind Christian Watson. I could rank him 6. I could put him ahead of Christian Watson. I mean, these wide receivers, Christian Watson, Sky Moore, Drake London, Treylon Burks, they're all very, very close. I don't think Chris Olave with Mike Thomas uncertainty, or, is Mike Thomas going to be back and healthy? We don't even know. Is Winston going to stay healthy? Is he even going to be ready to go? I think he will be, but there's a lot of questions there. John Mechie, I like a lot. George Pickens is pretty good, but in a bad situation, competing for targets with a quarterback that we don't even know can deliver the football to even two of those wide receivers in Claypool and Deontay. And then you got Freiermuth and you got Najee Harris. I don't like George Pickens' situation at all. I thought they should have taken, after they took Pickett, I still would have taken Malik Willis if it was me. I'd rather draft two of those quarterbacks and try and nail one of them than draft another wide receiver you can't even use and feed. Dotson, I don't know about that one. Wan'Dale Robinson, leave it to the Giants, bro. And then Danny Gray, I love. Danny Gray, I could put Danny Gray all the way up here. I love Danny Gray. Now, I don't know that he'll be used properly right away because Shanahan's strange with rookies. He doesn't trust them, or he does. It's hard to know. But Danny Gray, if called upon, will ball out. He's exciting. I think the fan base in San Francisco is going to grow to love him. He'll be a fan favorite, if not already, within a month or two. He'll be everybody's favorite Niner. Danny Gray's ready to ball. He's electric. He's explosive. You can use him even though he's smaller in a lot of those wide back things that are out wide. Not under center wide back, not between the gaps, not up the gut, not the 300-pound lineman hitting you type of wide back role. We're talking about out wide. Take a couple steps back, catch the football as a running back, essentially, and do your work from the line of scrimmage on. That's what Deebo did well, and what people don't credit Deebo for doing. That's more of a wide receiver type of role. So appreciate you, Overcome. Where have you been, Overcome? Bro, I had 80 transactions last season in one of my 3 leagues. I don't even care. I'll do it again this season. Attaboy, Overcome. Overcome's not afraid to make a transaction or two, is what he's saying. Overcome will drop an ad drop like it's nothing, like it's butter. Appreciate you, Jim Bob. Appreciate you, Overcome, dropping the super chats. Niner by Nature in the house. Niner by Nature is, I think, still the leading super chatter. It's going to be hard to keep track of this going forward, but I do know that you're still the leading super chatter on the year. So I can still put this up for now. Eventually, I can't keep track of that number. That's going to be hard. The highest super chat of a given live stream will be very easy because I'll replace it right there and then and there. It's hard to keep track of this other number, but Niner by Nature still is in the lead, I think, by a little bit as the highest super chatter of the year so far with 289. But Michael K. CPA, somebody knock him off. I dare you. 199 in one live stream. I dare you. Knock him off. Try it. Deebo, that like button says Niner by Nature. Appreciate you, Niner by Nature. You are one of the biggest supporters here, and I can't thank you enough. Robert with the chat here. Smitty, Walker, still my running back 1. Hey, I don't blame you, Robert. I'm not sending you on a lap. I personally, I did say you can't not have Breece Hall your number 1, so I guess technically almost could be lap worthy, but Robert, you ain't going on a lap, pal. I appreciate you. And I understand why you still might think that, because Walker's so talented and exciting. And maybe a situation gets better for the long term. Maybe they get a quarterback, they trade for somebody. Who knows? We don't know. Lamar Jackson isn't signing his deal in Baltimore for a reason. We don't know why. Baltimore had a great draft. They had a great draft, but they pissed him off when they traded Hollywood Brown without telling him. Now, a lot of reports came out and said that he knew Hollywood was unhappy. Hollywood Brown requested a trade last year. It was very well known that Hollywood was wanting out. It wasn't a good fit, Hollywood said. He made that very clear to Lamar. They had discussions, but clearly, I don't care what anybody says about those reports, because when I say this, people come at me and say, Smitty, Lamar knew. Then why did Lamar tweet out WTF the minute he was traded? Whether he knew that he was unhappy, whether he knew it was a possibility, they had not talked to him on that day, in that moment, to let him know to say goodbye to his star wide receiver. So Lamar was very offended. I'm not saying Lamar's not staying. I'm saying Lamar Jackson has refused to come to the negotiating table. He represents himself because he wants, I don't know what he wants. He says there's word that he might want to play on the franchise tag for a couple years, then come in and decide what he wants to do. I'm just saying, you don't know what's going to happen in Seattle in a year or a year and a half. If they ink DK Metcalf to a long-term deal, and they've got Kenneth Walker balling out as best as he can, similar to the way Javonte did in Denver. Now, don't think timeshare, though, but in terms of production and being effective and being efficient and breaking off tackles and being a beast. If Walker plays well, DK plays well, and let's say they have Geno or whoever doing okay, it's possible a player like Lamar or a player like Kyler or a quarterback that we aren't thinking of right now that's going to come to mind later in the offseason might come a calling or come a knocking at the door in Seattle and say, you know what? I want to play in this offense with DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is a nice, attractive piece to lure in a nice signal caller. I do wonder why the Seattle Seahawks did it, though. They you draft Kenneth Walker. I don't understand. They wouldn't have that pick, but you know what I mean? Why are you building? You draft an offensive lineman. The Seahawks draft an offensive lineman, something that Russell Wilson's been begging for. They do it once Russell Wilson's gone. They draft an offensive lineman. They draft Kenneth Walker. They put into place a team that Russell Wilson wanted. So there is some nice upside here for a quarterback to land. So, Robert, I don't hate this take. I think ultimately, if you ask me at a glance, I'm going to say Breece Hall number 1. There's no argument, in my opinion. But Kenneth Walker's locked into 2. I had a little adjustment. I had a little adjustment time. I literally was bouncing between 2 and 5. I'll be honest. Seattle, it threw me for a loop. I was not expecting Seattle to be his landing spot. I was a little thrown off by it. And the James Cook signing to Buffalo, I think that made even me a little overexcited at first, because I'm thinking Buffalo, and then I back off. I'm like, this is a team that doesn't really commit to one running back. I know Singletary, they did the last 6 games, but James Cook doesn't feel like he's built to be a full-time guy. Could he put on weight and change my mind? A lot of people said Alvin Kamara couldn't be a full-time guy, and he's a smaller type build. So we can't say for certain that James Cook can't be an every down back. I don't know. I do poster boy. I said that already. Yep, I think Baker is a really, really good landing spot for Seattle, or Seattle to get Baker would be a good thing, because look how good Chubb did. So rewatch the beginning of the live stream to see a little bit of that. But I did already speak on that. I think Baker would be an excellent fit and would help Kenneth Walker move along quickly. And Seattle could prepare and try and bring in somebody else if that didn't work. So it's not like they got to fully commit to him. They would be cautious with it. Jim Bob with another super chat. 1 QB dynasty, 12 and 13 rookie draft spot. Who can I get? Danny Gray. Rachaad White could fall. I doubt it. People will be excited enough, I think, to take him. Probably, I would say 7, 8, 9, though. Like, I think you get lucky to get him at 7, 8, 9. If we're talking, man, it's tough to say. These wide receivers, like Mechie could be there. James Cook probably won't be. Danny Gray will be. Sky Moore, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you're talking about Pickens, Mechie, maybe Olave, probably not Cook, definitely Gray. That's who you're looking at. I think Sky Moore's gone. I think Drake London's for sure gone. Trey Burks is for sure gone. Christian Watson's for sure gone. Rachaad White may fall. James Cook may fall. John Mechie will be there. Pickens will be there. Those are your options. The other Denver or the other San Francisco back they just took. What's his name? I'm blanking on his name. You could take him. He's kind of like a Mitchell. Grab him. Hope something happens. Yeah, appreciate you. Poster boy. 5'11", 199 says Swaggy. Pickett to Pickens. Yeah, maybe, bro. Maybe, but I don't know. I mean, I like Pickens. He's a round 1 grade wide receiver potentially, but he's in a very complex, cloudy landing spot, man. Like, I don't know. And Malik Willis was the pick. He was tailor-made for that Steelers offense. I really believe. Kenny Pickett, top 7 QB, and if you don't believe me, ask Smitty. No. But like, I won't call him a bust. I'll give him a shot. I'm not calling him a bust. I just don't know that I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to step back, wait and see. Pickett, maybe he's good. I definitely won't call him a bust. I'm just not super excited. I'm just not team Pickett. I was team Malik on that Pittsburgh Steelers roster. Sleeper running back Ingram on the Cardinals. Maybe. Yeah. He was definitely a decent grab, I suppose, late. Although Cardinals botched it by not taking Breece Hall. My Cardinals trade for Hollywood Brown using the 23 overall pick when we could have taken Danny Gray in round 2. I would have taken Danny Gray in round 2, and I would have taken Breece Hall at number 23 overall, and we would have had an unstoppable offense. But yet, the Cardinals trade the 23 overall for a wide receiver and a guy that I think is good. I like Hollywood. I do. I liked him a lot a couple years ago. But Hopkins is on roster. I would have rather have drafted Christian Watson at 23 overall than to have taken taken that pick and traded it for Hollywood Brown. Not a big fan of that move at all. I like Hollywood Brown. I do, Ronaldo. I like him, but he's not worth that 23 overall pick. I'd rather have the younger rookie contract Christian Watson, to be honest with you. I like him. I'm going to be very excited to see him in the offense. I don't hate it. It was just not the best use of resources and draft capital. The 23 overall pick was much better. I come late. Why Odell Beckham Jr. tweeting such things, man? Because he wasn't in the headlines for 5 minutes. Yeah, it's all fake news. Don't worry about it. Fake news. Deebo to the New England Patriots cap. That's what that cap stands for. Breaking news says Odell Beckham Jr. Deebo Samuel to the Patriots. It's not true. It's fake news. Let me put that on screen to just further clarify that, because I don't know if people understand what the cap means. But fake news right here. That way everybody understands. Well, we've covered a lot. Covered a lot. Anybody have any other questions? We could open the phone lines up. Let's open the phone lines up. If you guys want to dial into the phone line is right here. Where is my graphic for the phone line? Here we go. There's the phone line. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
602-635-3664. That spells NFL Dong. You heard the Dong bell. So dial in if you want. I got to actually turn the phone line on real quick. So bear with me as I do that. If you're calling right now, it won't go through. But we'll definitely take some calls real quickly if anybody wants to dial in. Give me 1 second while I fire up the line and just call it up. It's 602 NFL Dong. 602-635-3664. It is now active, so dial in right now. Go. Hit me. Hit me with it. Hit me with it. Where do you have David Bell? I don't know, like right around this range, right where we're getting to, probably above Wan'Dale Robinson, I suppose. How do you feel about Brandon Ayuk? I love Brandon Ayuk. I think he could have 1,000 yards, 7 to 8, 9 TD season, maybe even like 1,100, 1,200 yards. He's gonna have a good year. I still think Deebo is better than Ayuk. I know a lot of people feel like Ayuk is the better pure route runner, but I feel like that's unfair. If you have a question, drop a question. Oh, here it is. Damn, I couldn't send a question. I'm an idiot. You're not an idiot. You dropped a super chat, and I appreciate you. So, Buck, re-ask your question. I'll look for your avatar, pull it on the screen. So, ask me another question. Dial into the line. The line to call in is 602-635-3664. Otherwise, 602 NFL, and the dong of a bell. 602 NFL dong. Dial in. Ask your boy Smitty a question. Let's go. Appreciate the super chat. Jim Bob, thank you. Hines, thank you for the super chat. Ayuk, 1,200 yards, 7 to 8 TDs is a pretty darn good season. Buck, I'm looking for your question. John with a question. John says, Odell Beckham Jr. is good friends with Bill Belichick. He may know something we don't. I don't know, but it's hard to believe, but being a Pat fan, I hope it happens. It won't happen, but John, keep dreaming, pal. Odell's been clowning for a couple days now. Yesterday he put, should we tell him? And nothing happened, and everybody started to ignore Odell at that point. What's up, buddy? You are live on the Fantasy Football Show. Calls may be live streamed for quality assurance purposes. Who am I speaking to, and what's your question?
You're speaking to a die-hard Pats fan, baby, and I'm seeing Deebo to the Pats.
Yeah, Deebo
What's
to the
that
Pat.
about?
Yeah, who's your source, Odell?
Yep. Yep.
Odell, breaking news, huh? Yeah, probably not happening, buddy. But keep dreaming, keep the hope alive. Odell Beckham Jr. is trying to. He's feeling a little bit left out. You know, he's not even on a team, so he wants to make a splash in the news. But
man, we need one of the two. I don't think Javonte's our guy.
Yeah, you're hoping for a wide receiver in New England, bro. You need one bad.
That and a linebacker, I'd love.
Go after DK.
Sure.
DK still potentially available. Seattle may deal him because they dealt Russell Wilson, which made no sense. So go after DK.
I'd love DK. I mean, N'Keal Harry, man. We took him over DK. DK should be a Patriot already.
And you ruined N'Keal Harry. I like N'Keal Harry. The Patriots ruined him. I don't want a wide receiver going to New England. Look what they did to N'Keal Harry. Everybody ripping N'Keal Harry apart. You guys ruined him. You destroyed him.
Yes, we did. We didn't do that indeed, man. He did not have what we expect on the Patriots.
You got a final question?
Yeah. Do you think San Fran, they're going to start Trey Lance?
Yeah, they're going to start Trey Lance. Is the sky blue?
Well, here it's pretty cloudy, my friend.
Yeah,
yes,
well,
sir, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, the smoke is cloudy. The smoke is hard to see through. But Trey Lance, look, Jimmy G's not throwing until June. That means if Trey Lance has between now and June and doesn't secure the job, he's not the guy I'm predicting he is. So I'm ultra confident. He'd have to get hurt or something to cause some craziness. But Jimmy's not able to even compete. This is Trey's job. They're gonna not only are they gonna put Trey in there from now until June, but when you block for Trey, it's a different blocking scheme. It's different. Everything's different for Trey than it is Jimmy. It's going to be hard to not get the offense ready under Trey Lance's command and tutelage. and then just kind of have it like for both quarterbacks. Like it's going to be built for Trey. It's Trey's job to lose. Trey was in the situation in college where they brought in a transfer that was supposed to 100% take his job, and Trey Lance's opportunity to start was supposed to be wiped out. Trey beat him out. They started Trey. Trey's been in this situation before. And not to mention, in the offseason last year, there was nothing but raving reviews about him. So I think you're going to see him
Trey's
blow.
your guy.
All right, man. Call back if you have another question. The lines are still open.
Yes, sir. I like what you're doing. Good shit.
Other than your Odell Beckham Jr. lead, I like what you're doing too. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Later.
Take care.
All right, dial in 602-635-3664. Otherwise, 602 NFL Dong. Dial in. Make the bell ring. Make the dong ring. Dial in. Odell Beckham Jr. It's false. Okay, Buck. I got your question here. Superflex 12 team 1.3. Hall or Walker gone. What do you do? I don't go London. In my opinion, I go Garrett Wilson, but that's me. What's up, man? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Calls are streamed for quality assurance purposes. Who am I talking to?
You talking to David. What's up?
I'm talking to who?
David.
David, what you got, pal?
Yo, so I've got a fantasy question for you. If you had the 1.04 and the 1.09 in a Superflex Dynasty tight end premium league, who would be your ideal pickings?
104, you said? And 109?
Yes.
Who are your quarterbacks?
I've got Cousins and Prescott.
Cousins, huh? I mean, you got to see where Malik Willis falls at that 9 pick. But I'm not taking him at the 4. I hope that somebody takes a quarterback if I'm you in that top 4. Do you think somebody's going to take a quarterback in the top 3?
I really think so. The 1-1 is QB depleted out the ass. So I really think that he is probably going to go QB in his first pick overall.
Can you trade Cousins in like the 4 pick for the 1?
I can definitely probably try to squeeze that.
You know, like if he's desperate enough to not take Breece Hall, then maybe he would trade the pick and get Cousins and tell him, hey, you can get a wide receiver now. I don't know. I'd maybe look to do that, but I would take. It's Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Garrett Wilson, Jamison Williams for me. Rashad White maybe, but like I'm not squeezing a quarterback into that top 4 or 5. I would take Pickett or Malik Willis at that 9 pick, but they probably won't be there. Otherwise, I'd just roll with the 2 quarterbacks you have. I think Malik Willis is interesting, but he's still not like if he had fallen to Pittsburgh, I'd be way more excited. Pickett's kind of intriguing, but is Trubisky going to fall on his face right away? So give me the running backs and wide receivers, bro. I just don't like this class that much. Quarterback.
Okay.
But yeah, go get that 1 pick. Go get that 1 pick. He's vulnerable. Or at the very least, you could give him don't give up Cousins and give up the 4 and the 9 straight up for the 1. Be like, hey, bro, you don't want to spend a first overall pick on a quarterback. I'll give you the 4 and the 9 for your 1 and then take Breece Hall.
That's a good plan. Do you think at 2.06 it would be reaching to grab McBride as a tight end?
No.
Because it's a tight end premium league as well.
You can't. No, definitely no. Then I take him at 9, maybe even. But you can't reach in round 2. There's no such thing as a reach in rookie only drafts in round 2. Take whoever you want. Take Gray. You like Danny Gray number 2.1? Just take him. Don't. There's no reaching. Take your guy in round 2. All right, pal. Call back if you have another question. Call back if you have another question. The lines will be open.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Dial up 602-635-3664, otherwise known as NFL Dong. 602 NFL Dong. Dial it. Dial it. Ask your boy Smitty a question. Let's do it. Let's do it live. But for those joining, Deebo to the Patriots, it's Cap. It's Odell Beckham Jr. trying to. I don't know what he's trying to do. It's fake news. It's fake news. What other questions we got in the chat? Beach is trying to tell me what my time zone is. He says that was tweeted at 6:56, not 3:56. Well, I'm Arizona time, bro. What's up? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. What can I do you for? Who am I talking to?
What's up, Smitty? This Robert, man.
Robert.
So, like I was saying, bro, I got Kenneth Walker as my RB1, but the thing is, I kind of feel like I can get him at the 1.4. I also got the 1.1 in the same league. Do you think I should just take Hall and try to get Kenneth Walker at 4, or just go with my gut and just take Walker at 1? Because I feel like he's going to have like a similar situation as Javonte.
One second, Robert. Buck, I'm going to answer your question next. I'm sorry. I would say, bro, I take Breece Hall. I think you can get Kenneth Walker. You have the 1. You have the 1 and the 4.
Yeah.
Can you move the 4 up to like the 3 or 2?
I tried to move it for the 2, but the guy is like he's playing hardball, man, and he's asking for too much. Like he's asking for 3 picks, man, and I'm not giving up 3 picks for, just to move up a couple spots.
Like 3 picks where though?
Like in 23. So he asked for a 23 first, a 24 first, and my 1.4. Just to move to 1.2. And I already have the first overall pick, and I'm pretty sure I don't know, I think he's going to take probably a quarterback because he got Nick Chubb and Zeke and Cook. He got a couple of running backs, so I'm not sure if he's going to take a running back. So I was thinking I could get them both.
Who's got the 3 pick?
I have the 1.1, the 1.4, and the 1.5, and a 1.8. He only has the 1.2, but he's asking me for 3.
Yeah, but the person that has the 3 pick, are they taking a running back, you think?
I think he's probably going to take a quarterback because he has Tom Brady.
Well, I think you answered my question.
That's his only quarterback in his super flex.
You pretty much give me indication that Kenneth Walker is not going to be taken in the top 3. So I would take Breece Hall, and I would take Kenneth Walker at the 4. I think I'd roll the dice, man. I mean, at the most, I would trade the 4 and the 5 and the 8 all for the 2. Like if that's your guy and you want him and you do not want to miss him, just do what you got to do, but don't trade the 1. Breece Hall is generational. The situation's phenomenal. I'm not passing on that if that opportunity is in front of me. It doesn't mean I don't also want you to take Kenneth Walker. I would just keep getting creative if you have to. I wouldn't give up a bunch of future first rounders, but would I give up known first round picks that you have right in front of your face that is 4 and 9 or 8 or whatever to move that 4 up? Yes, I would. I would do that. I would give it the 4. You say you have the 4 or the 5? Or you just.
I kind of want to get Jameson Williams as well.
Then just roll the dice, bro. Roll the dice. Take Breece Hall. Don't pass on that. Roll the dice. You just told me you thought that 2nd and 3rd picks won't be Kenneth Walker. Roll the dice. Take Kenneth Walker at 4. Take Jameson Williams at 5. You're gonna walk out a happy man.
Hey, another thing, man. I moved the 1.6 and 1.9 for Javonte, bro. I've been listening, man. The guys are crazy.
Yeah.
I better get back on the Javonte bandwagon, man, right now.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon scared everybody. It's petrified. He's like a little old lady.
Years old, bro.
He's like a little old lady scaring everybody, bro. All right, man. Call back if you got another question, but I would roll the dice, personally.
All right, thanks, man.
Appreciate you. Buck. Sorry I didn't answer this. 12-team Superflex 1.3, assuming Hall and Walker go. Do I go London or, again, I go Jameson? I guess I did kind of answer this. Garrett Wilson, Jameson are probably the guys I would go if those 2 are off the board. I would go in order of Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams. Christian Watson's attractive. London is pretty good. If London's your guy, trust your gut. At 1.3, if the 2 running backs are off the board, Buck, I'm going to tell you, trust your gut. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody. Let me guide you if you're on the fence going one way or the other. But if you literally are in London camp and you're listening to me and I'm saying, go Garrett Wilson, like, don't let me talk you out of it. Don't let me talk you out of it. No problem, Robert. If you got another question, dial in. The phone lines are open. 602-635-3664. That's 602 NFL Dong. Dial in. Dial in. Ask your boy Smitty a question. Phone lines are open. Kyron Williams was a good pick by the Rams. I think he's the guy to own in LA. I mean, honestly, like, I'm not drafting. That was a horrible situation for Acres owners, you know. What's up, pal? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? This is Austin, aka Austin B in the chat.
Austin,
I'm trying to get you back onto the Clyde Edwards-Helaire bandwagon.
you don't have to get me back on the Clyde wagon. I'm very much okay with Clyde at 7th round, 8th round ADP. Clyde's going really late, bro. There's literally no risk in Clyde in 2022. There's only people upset that it happened the way that it happened last year. Like, I'm so mad about Clyde, I'm not going near him.
Rojo's a nobody.
And
Let's get around it.
Bro,
12, 13 carries a game.
And
3
bro,
receptions.
it takes a long time to learn this offense in this playbook. There's no way Rojo, who struggled wherever he's gone, is going to come in and be like, I'm the most astute in picking up this playbook. Like, Damian Williams didn't. I mean, I'm not saying Damian Williams is the smartest player in the league either or anything. I'm just saying Damian Williams went through a whole year, and at the end of the year, he said he still didn't know the playbook. Like, it was so complicated, and he'd have to be told where to go on every play. Like, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, like in the huddle. So
really, I didn't hear about all that.
So Rojo ain't coming in and just taking over the job. Like, if Clyde got hurt, they might force him in. But Clyde at 7, 8 round value, choo on board.
It's a steal.
What else you got?
All right, Smitty.
Anything else?
That's about it, man. You have a good evening.
Okay, Austin, call back if you got another question.
You got it.
That's Austin. Austin dropping knowledge. Who's this? You're live on the show.
Yeah.
Who am I speaking to? Hello? Hello? They weren't expecting their boy Smitty to answer that call that quick. Rojo is a nice back. Don't sleep on him. I don't know, Nick. I don't agree. But hey, Nick, trust your gut. I don't know about he's a nice back. He ain't a nice back. He's mediocre at best. But the playbook is crazy. Yeah, you'd rather have Clyde all day. Clyde is packaged into a real nice risk versus reward situation. As much as we're mad at him and we don't want Clyde anymore and we're tired of the roller coaster ride, like, Clyde is a 7th or 8th round pick. Take a little stab at Clydey boy, okay? It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to bite. Do I think Malik Willis will be a starter? In time, I do. Think he'll get a shot. Thoughts on NFL draft running backs? We went over that already. It's Breece Hall. It's Kenneth Walker. It took me about 10 hours to fully digest and come to the conclusion that, you know what, Kenneth Walker is going to find a way to score and be productive. He'll be like Najee in a way that, like, his yards per carry will be lower than you want. Maybe risk of injuries a little bit higher. Even I'm not saying he's going to be an injury-prone guy, but, like, just a little bit more risk factor when you don't have a quarterback. And maybe they trade for Baker. They trade for Baker. Kenneth Walker jumps to everybody's locked and loaded number 2. Right now, it's like we're talking ourselves into it a little bit, saying Kenneth Walker, there's a lot of risk. But Jim Bob says, look up for my super chat. Okay. Jim Bob. What's to like about Danny Gray? What's to like about Danny Gray? Jim Bob. Speed. Ability to navigate open spaces. Ability to run toward open gaps and receiving lanes and just wide open spaces on the field. If you watch his film, the dude, similar to Kenneth Walker, just has this, like, unbelievable compass on the field of where the most amount of space is. And if you watch Gray catch the ball, he's the definition of yak yards. So Gray catches the ball, He's running, open space there, open space there. 2 defenders closing in on him. He finds a way to get in the middle of both of them so that neither one can catch him, where a lot of players might pick a path that where one of the players that's chasing him down is going to grab him. He's just so good in open space. Yak machine. Quick, elusive. In today's NFL rules and today's NFL, he's going to be open a lot in open space catching the football. Now, the question is, will Shanahan use him right away? He's weird about rookies. Will we be all upset and up in arms that this kid's not getting used? Yeah, that could definitely happen. I could see myself just screaming and yelling at Shanahan all season long. But I love Danny Gray. I wish the Cardinals took him in the second round. I don't care if you reach for Danny Gray. Cardinals grab him in round 2. We grab Breece Hall at 23 overall instead of trading it for Hollywood Brown. The Cardinals would have Gray and Breece Hall walk into the future with that. I would have loved it. So, Jim Bob, I love Danny Gray. Love him. I just don't know how active he'll be right out of the gate. What about James Cook in Buffalo? At first, I was excited, because I'm like, okay, Buffalo got a running back. And then you start, digesting it. You're like, why not take Rachaad White? I think he was still available. Yeah, I think he was. Rachaad White, why not? Why not? Why take Cook? I mean, Cook's good. He's good. I think a lot of teams don't view him as an every down back. I'd be interested to know Buffalo sees if he's an every down back. I could see him coming out and saying that to pump him up, but I don't know. I like Cook. He's just not. He's not. I first wanted to put him 4, 5, or 6, but then I just Rachaad White vaulted ahead of him. Kenneth Walker is locked in as the second running back. Rachaad White, the number 3 running back. Maybe you could put Cook at the 4. You could go with a lot of running backs at the 4. Rojo will be the goal line back and is better than Clyde. We'll see, Kerry. We will see. Get ready. Get ready. Buckle down. Crazy thing about all of that is that Arizona had plenty of people who can catch the ball. You guys would have been looking so nice with Hall instead. Agreed. Tribe, I wanted the Cardinals to draft Najee Harris, and they passed on him. I thought, okay, maybe they'll draft Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker. No, they trade out of the spot. Unbelievable Cardinal thing to do. Cardinals draft like trash. I like this Cam second round or third round pick. I like Cam a lot. That was a good pick. But other than that, it's just what are we doing? What are we doing? The Cardinals draft like trash. They don't know what they're doing. Put me in charge. I'll draft a New York Jet football team. That's what I'm doing. I'm aggressive. I don't understand this. KC not drafting a running back says all you need to know about Rojo. Okay. Rojo's scary. I'm not scared of Rojo. Could he be the guy at some point? I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but Arizona would be Super Bowl team if you were managing them, Smitty. Thank you, Tribe. I think they would. I'd make moves, man. I would have probably, I'm not saying I would have for sure got rid of Kyler, but I would have been exploring Aaron Rodgers trades. You send Green Bay an offer where you give them Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals get A-Rod and you give them a first-round pick, they would have potentially, taken a bite of that. They would have taken a bite of that. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
What's up, man? It's Ricardo. How are you, man?
Ricardo, appreciate you, buddy. What's up?
I have 2 questions, if that's cool.
Yeah.
Christian Watson from Green Bay. What's your take on him?
Love it. I thought they should have taken Watson in the first round, at the end of the first round with their second pick, and they didn't. And I ripped them apart. It's like one of those. I put a Instagram story up where this car was going to get hit by this other car. It swerved out of the way, almost hit another car, and slid out, and nothing happened. It's that's how I felt the Packers handled the wide receiver position. They got their guy, but it's they skated in by a slim margin, to get that right guy. So I love him. I love Watson.
They seem to do that a lot with wide receivers, right? I feel like for some reason, obviously they hit on a couple, but I feel like there's always this disconnect. What do you think I'm not a Green Bay fan at all. I just think it's an interesting situation. I'm a Giants fan, and I think we had a fantastic draft. I am very happy with it. My other question is, who are your top three teams that succeeded in the draft if you had to rank them 1, 2, 3?
So I'd have to say Christian Watson. Back to that, I like him a lot. But yeah, I definitely feel like the Packers are easy to say like they don't use rookie wide receivers right away, or Aaron Rodgers takes his time. But this is different. The wide receiver room's depleted. They're gonna rush him along. He'll be fine. Let's see. I'd have to say, let me pull up some of the grades and just look at some of the teams and what they did. I mean, overall, the Jets by far and away are the number one, team in the number one drafting team. Like they just knocked it out of the park. Even if let's say, let's say, are you still there? Dial back in if you accidentally hung up. Dial back in and I'll add you. Even if you say that the Jets, like, let's say they botched that second round pick and they didn't take Kenneth Walker. I'm sorry, Breece Hall. They still would have been the number one, by far and away, graded team in the NFL draft. Landing Breece Hall puts them on like a map that we will probably never see for some time. You're live on the show. Who am I talking to?
It's Ricardo. Guys.
Okay, Ricardo.
It totally dropped on me. My bad.
Yeah. So the Jets, clearly the top ranked team, and like I was saying, even if they didn't take Breece Hall and they botched that fourth pick, they still would have been the best, drafting team. I think the Ravens had a really, really good draft. The Ravens had a really, really, really good draft. But I think they did a bad job letting Lamar Jackson know, apparently, about about trading, trading away Hollywood Brown. And I know a lot of people say, hey, he had to have known because it's been out there for a while, but he clearly didn't know at that moment that they decided to do it. Like they just trade him because he tweeted out WTF. He was not happy. I think the Eagles, even though you're talking about trade acquisitions mixed with drafting, the Eagles I think had a very phenomenal draft, overall draft day. I think the Lions looked really good. I think. Yeah, Eagles, Lions, Jets. I don't know if I'm leaving somebody out. It's tough to say. Tough to say who. It was just the Jets. The Jets blew everybody out of the park. I'd say horrible drafts. Cardinals, Atlanta Falcons should not have passed on Malik Willis. That gives them a D or an F in my book just because they did so. Baltimore again, A plus, but they just didn't. They should have handled that Lamar situation better, that Hollywood Brown situation. Let's see here. Chicago didn't do well. Cincinnati could have done a lot better. Detroit A plus. Green Bay, I'd say like a B or a C because they got Watson, but I'd say a B or a C. I would say KC did pretty good getting that wide receiver in that wide receiver room. I would say Miami didn't feel like they did a whole lot. Minnesota didn't feel like they did a whole lot. New England, I think, give them an F. New England did a real bad job. I'd say the Giants did pretty well overall. I don't like the Wandale wide receiver grab that you guys got. I think there were better guys on the board, but that's me. Philadelphia, A. Pittsburgh could have had an A plus if they took Malik Willis. Seattle, give them an A or a B for sure. Niners were a mixed bag. I'd probably say the Niners were like a C because they had a couple A plus picks. I love the Danny Gray pick. I think going running back a little early was odd. I think not addressing the offensive line or the center position was a little odd. Taking a quarterback at the very, very end of it, even if that was for trade purposes or something. Who cares? They've been trying to trade Jimmy G. Like, I don't know what they're doing with that pick, but yeah, so like a C for the Niners. Anything else?
Yeah. No, man. One question I do have. I'm always in Twitch chat. Do you generally look at that, or do you pay more attention to like the YouTube stuff?
In what kind of chat?
Twitch.
I mean, I as far as what, like news?
No. Just like chatting and stuff. I feel like you pull up all the stuff from YouTube. I wonder if you also if you pay attention to Twitch chat.
Yeah. I mean, all my comments get feeded through my system here. So I if there's a Twitch comment, I'll pull it right on.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool,
so
man.
if you're on
Listen,
Twitch,
appreciate the content.
yeah, and if you're from
And,
Twitch, if you're on Twitch, bro, leave a comment because it'll kind of stand out a little bit. I'll pull it on screen whenever. Appreciate you.
Cool, man. We'll do. Listen.
Later.
Love the content. Thanks for everything, man. Later.
All right, dial in 602-635-3664, otherwise known as 602 NFL Dong. Drop it. Dial in. Call. Ravens, Browns, Lions. You guys are giving some draft grades here. Jets smashed the draft, bro. Just completely annihilated everybody. Eagles probably got the steal of the draft in Dean. I do like Dean. You think the Saints pick pending future bust? I don't know about a future bust, bro. Do I listen to Whitney Houston? No, I don't. Do you? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. What can I do you for?
What is up, Smitty? How's it going?
Who's this?
This is One Love. How are you, man?
One Love, what's up, buddy? I haven't seen you here as frequently as I am used to. I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm just navigating these waters, my man. This draft was crazy.
It was.
Hey, got a quick question for you. So, a couple things. On I Am Athlete, a podcast, Hollywood was saying that Lamar's known about that trade for like a year or so. He was aware of it. So I don't know if he was as surprised as that tweet kind of leads us on, but I don't know. Just dropping that little nugget. My question for you was,
well, real quickly,
real
quickly, let me address that.
Yeah.
I've addressed it before a couple times already on this show because it's like, if there's one thing I hear is repetitive stuff over and over. Like I hear that constantly, and so I tried to, and you probably weren't here for it, so it's not your fault. I'm not saying you should have known this, but like I try and hit those things at the beginning of the show, or if I'm in the middle of talking about it, like Lamar clearly did know he was unhappy, and everyone keeps throwing that at me whenever I say that phrase. And again, not your fault for not knowing that I said that, but he clearly, from like, people were arguing with me on Twitter saying, Smitty, because I said maybe you should tell Lamar that you're going to trade Hollywood Brown, and on Twitter just non-stop, and I retweeted Lamar's WTF tweet when I said that. And people nonstop are like, Smitty, he already knows. Smitty, this is already known. Smitty, he already knows. Smitty, here's a report over here. And I'm like, okay, don't you think we should trust the guy himself that just tweeted out WTF the moment they traded him? And yet everybody's like blasting me with all these articles. And like, we know he was unhappy. He's been unhappy for a year. I'm not yelling at you, bro. But he's been unhappy for a year. He said it wasn't a good fit. He wanted out. But they clearly didn't tell him to that moment they were pulling the trigger. And he tweeted out WTF. And that's all he said. And everyone's arguing with Lamar. What Lamar knew. Lamar's saying he didn't know that it was happening. You know? It's crazy.
Well, I hope it works out for your Cardinals. And I got Bateman, so I'm happy about it too. So hopefully it works out for everyone. Question for you, if I can. If you got a couple seconds.
For sure.
So, what do you think about some of these running backs like Gibson and Penny? I've got them stashed kind of deeper on my bench, and trying to see if I need to try to unload them, or if at this point I just need to hold on to them. Or what are your thoughts?
Gibson, I mean, you don't unload Gibson. Penny's like a guy you maybe unload. Gibson's a second round potential running back talent that feels like the risk is equally as heavy as the upside. So whenever you get to that point in a draft where you're like, okay, there's as much risk as there is reward, it's like, are there safer players? You know, so like, would I trade him for second round equivalent people that just feel safer? Like, would I trade him for a DK who's very underrated right now, but also got legitimate questions? Yeah, I probably would. Do I trade Gibson for a Waddle plus more? Probably. Do I trade him for Kenneth Walker straight up? I would probably trade Gibson for Kenneth Walker straight up. Like, I worry about Gibson. Number one, Gibson wasn't a full-time running back or full-time wide receiver in college. He literally had like 30-something rushes to his name in college, and like, I think it was under 40 receptions. So like, he literally was like a guy that had caught 30 or 40 receptions, run the ball 30 or so times, So his pedigree is in question. So, and then you mix in the fact that this team literally, scared the crap out of everybody all year long. Like, why go into that mess again? If you can get out of it and get a Kenneth Walker, who's very doubted right now, and I don't know if you've already drafted in your rookie draft, so like you'd have to go after a pick. But like maybe Gibson and something for like a 1.2 is doable. Penny, I mean, might as well keep Penny at that point if you're going to acquire Kenneth Walker, but I don't think anybody's giving you anything for Penny. I don't think I cut him, but it depends on who you could pick up.
Yeah. Gotcha. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Let me call back if you have a question about a trade idea or whatever for Gibson, but definitely go through the second round at ADP and just say, like, what player do I feel safer about? Like, what player do I like? Javonte, give up Gibson and a future first rounder for Javonte. That's what I would do. Something like that. Go after it.
I'm lucky. I've got Javonte. I've got Zeke and Pollard stacked, and so they're just kind of second RBs or flexes. So just kind of trying to get some ideas. But yeah, I appreciate it, man.
What about cross position? Go cross position. People that need a running back will trade a wide receiver. So cross position trades. You could go after, who's your quarterback?
I've got Mahomes and Watson in a 1 QB.
What are you playing? You playing with your grandma? Is this your grandma's league? What's going on here?
It's taken me years, man. It's a 20-year dynasty league, so we've been at it for a while. But I'm pretty stacked. I've got Chase and Jefferson for my receivers, so I'm just trying to get some depth on running back.
Hey, who are your running backs? This is grandma's league, for sure. Go ahead.
Javonte, Zeke, Pollard. I've got Gibson.
Okay. So your hole is your running back too. Pollard. Use Gibson, future first rounder. Your first rounder is going to be late anyway. Your future first rounder, Gibson, to upgrade your running back slightly. That's what my goal would be. So go get something that's better than Gibson. I'd give up Zeke too. I'd throw Zeke in.
Yeah, I'm trying.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Call back if you have another question.
I appreciate it.
Later.
Will do.
Dial up if you've got a question. 602-635-3664. That's 602 NFL. Dong. Dial up. Do it live. What's up? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. What can I do you for?
Yo, it's David again.
David. What's up, David?
Yep. So, wide receiver rookie question. You have Christian Watson rated over Sky Moore, but with how long Aaron Rodgers takes to develop rookie wide receivers, wouldn't you think he would favor Allen Lazard more? Whereas it seems like Patrick Mahomes already has a good rapport with Sky Moore, and he has a lot of characteristics like Tyreek Hill, and we all know how much Patrick Mahomes likes Tyreek Hill.
I mean, you make points that easily could sway anybody. You know what I mean? Like I could have a conversation with anybody and start breaking down Burks as the number 6 overall over Watson, Sky Moore, and London. You could probably twist my arm into liking Drake London over Watson, Sky Moore, and Traylon Burks. Like, we could go. It's so tough to know at this stage in the game. We've seen players be underutilized in KC. We've seen Aaron Rodgers take his sweet time developing rookie wide receivers, but have we seen Aaron Rodgers with a depleted wide receiver room before? In a short window of time to get things done. So, like, my guess is that we kind of got to throw everything out the window in terms of the historical stuff. Like, what's Aaron Rodgers do with rookie wide receivers? Because it's a different landscape. Like, he's literally going to need to do a ton very fast and develop this kid fast. So, I'm going to bank on Christian Watson. I like Sky Moore a lot. I just don't know how fast he'll develop in KC. It's a very complicated playbook. Tough to say, man. I could go back and forth. It's very close. Like Watson and Sky Moore, they're the two wide receivers after Jamison Williams and Garrett Wilson where I feel like their situations are the best. That's why they vaulted above London and Treylon Burks for me, because their situations are better than Treylon Burks and London's. Burks is okay. I like Treylon Burks' situation, but it's going to change. Like, I don't believe Tannehill is a long-term answer. And I think that the team wouldn't have traded away A.J. Brown if they felt like Tannehill was capable of winning a Super Bowl. Because why do that? You were the number 1 seed last year in the conference. Why on earth, would you go ahead and do that? Like trade away A.J. Brown if you felt like Tannehill and this team could go the distance. So I don't know. It's arguable. I could go Drake London, Christian Watson, Sky Moore. I could go any order after that Rachaad White pick.
Okay. What's your opinion on Rondale Moore with the Cards? Do you think that Hollywood Brown, obviously he's going to eat into it a little bit.
Yeah.
But with D-Hop and Brown stretching the field, I feel like Rondale Moore is just going to be a PPR monster this year.
He could be, or Hollywood Brown could be a PPR monster. The other thing, too, is maybe Hopkins can't stay healthy, and both of them are actually pretty good. I like Rondale Moore a lot. This was a little bit of a kick to the nads for me because I feel like it just isn't good. Like, it could turn out good, but on its face, like, you can't walk into this situation going, yes, for Rondale Moore, And Hollywood Brown, I know everyone's saying he's going to be a PPR machine in Arizona now, but, like, there are 3 wide receivers, and you got a quarterback that's been a little shaky, heading out of the last half of the season. So we don't really know how well Kyler is going to do in distributing the football. But I mean, we'll see. I think it's a good setup for the Cardinals, but I don't know about individually how all these wide receivers are going to do. Even Hopkins, I'm a little bit skeptical of consistency. I love Rondale Moore, though. I think they need to use him as like a Deebo Samuel. Not up the gut, but like in the other ways that they use Deebo on the outside as a wide back. Appreciate you, man.
All right.
Call back if you got.
Thank you.
Yeah, call back if you got another one. All right, we'll take a couple more calls and then we are out of here. We've got 80 to 100 people in the room. Subscribe if you're new. If you haven't subscribed yet,
hit that subscribe button if you're new and wipe your feet at the door.
Whoa. We got to fix that. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the thumbs up button. What's up? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. What can I do you for?
Hey, Smitty, it's Nevin.
Nevin, what's up, pal?
Nothing much. How are you?
Pretty good.
Well, I was just calling I want to talk about the Lions. Just their drafting how Jamison Williams, where I see you have him ranked 4th on your rankings. I'm just wondering your opinion on him going to the Lions with how incompetent Goff can be at times.
Yeah, I have him right here for those looking on the screen. I have Jamison Williams number 4, Garrett Wilson number 1. Those are my top 2 wide receivers. I rank Williams there because of his long-term upside. He needs. This is what I said before the draft is he can go. He's the one wide receiver that could go to a kind of cloudy spot as long as we feel good about the team and the structure of the team. And that's exactly how I feel about the Lions. I'm very encouraged by the Lions. They had a really good draft. They got DeAndre Swift. They got St. Brown. Drafting Jamison Williams. They did a real good job overall in the draft. This is a team that knows where they want to go. They've got Goff. Not impressed with Goff. I believe the 2023 starter is not on this team. I think they'll be an attractive place for a free agent quarterback or a trade destination type quarterback next offseason. So don't be surprised if the team looks very different walking into next year. And he needs a year anyway. He's 3 months into an ACL recovery, so I like him a lot. He's just not going to give you a ton right away.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you just said about the Lions. I mean, I'm a Lions fan, so I follow them closer than any other team, but everything you just said I agree with. Like, in my opinion, there was no need really to go grab a quarterback because, like, you are still building, and you might as well did exactly what they've done, just build your team and then go get the quarterback.
The only mistake I think you made, though, even though you had a great draft, you can't really say anything was a mistake, but why not take Malik Willis? Why did these teams let this potential, like maybe Maybe he had bad interviews. We'll find out or something. I don't know. But why not take the chance where he fell? Like, it wasn't like you had to take him in the first. Like, he kept falling for teams. I don't know what pick he was there where you could have taken him in the second round there. But I mean, it's just like this kid was sitting there ready to be plucked by one team, and it's like that would have been a great potential, quarterback to throw out there and see if it would work.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. When they traded up to get the Vikings pick, I jumped off my couch. I was like, dude, no way. They're gonna either go get Hamilton or Malik Willis, and I was like pumping the air and whatnot. And I was like, and then they went and got Williams, and I was like, oh, that's not the pick I would have done.
Yeah, Lions look good, man. You're set up for the future. It's just not gonna be now. You're a year away. But if you lose badly. I don't know if you own your own next year's pick. Do you own your own pick next year?
I believe we do, and I think we have the Rams pick too.
Okay, Rams will have a good pick, but or a bad pick, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Lions are good enough to win games. I just don't know. Like you'd be,
and their schedule's pretty favorable too.
You'd be in a good situation if you're drafting high like that. Maybe you guys trade up. Maybe you find a way to aggressively trade up and get the top quarterback or something. But the Lions are ready. Get ready. It's going to be either a year and a half away.
And I'm pretty confident in Brad Holmes too. He seems like he's legit.
Yeah.
And then I like that Kirby Joseph pick. I remember you and Raj used to be in your mock drafts and stuff. You guys talked about him a little bit too. I thought that was a pretty good pick. But I was just trying to hop on real quick, and I'll let you get to the next call. But thanks, Minnie, for all you do. So
hey, appreciate you, man. Call in anytime.
All right.
Later. Nevin. Appreciate you, Nevin. All right, one last call. Who's the lucky last caller? Subscribe if you're new. Hit the thumbs up on your way in the door. Your boy Smitty's out here working, putting overtime in. We've been here for an hour and a half talking about the Deebo Samuel cap rumor to the New England Patriots, which is not true. Odell's trying to make waves. I don't know what Odell's thinking. Alex says, Smitty, you know the Lions will never be ready. I do, Alex. I do. Alex, you're the same person saying Odell Beckham Jr. is a winner. I don't know what you're talking about. Jameson Williams was pissed to go to Detroit. Yeah, maybe he was. He didn't look extremely happy, right? A couple people didn't look happy. James Cook didn't look happy going to the Bills, which I don't know why he'd be upset about that. We appreciate you, Nevin. Appreciate you, pal. Smitty, any new rookies making a big difference in an O-line? I'll have to go over all the offensive lines after this and kind of break that down. I mean, the Seahawks drafted a guy, right? That's good for Kenneth Walker. Everyone's talking about Kenneth Walker. Bad line, no quarterback. Well, they drafted a guy. So, things will improve. Niners needed to do a lot. We'll see. Linderbaum, yeah, I like Linderbaum. Looking at some of these free agent signings right now. O'Neal going to the Niners. That was good. O'Neal. 49ers sign undrafted free agent offensive line Donovan West from Arizona State. That's good. That's really good. All right, last call of the phone lines and we'll turn it off. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. What can I help you with? Hello? All right, that doesn't count. We'll give it one more call. One more call in. Dial in 602-635-3664. That's 602 NFL. Dong. 2 steals for the Niners, says Nevin. Jim Bob says I should have more than 100,000 subs. I agree with that. That's a really, really good comment there, Jim Bob. We'll get there. Don't worry. We'll be at 100K. Mark my words. But it does help if you guys spread the word. Even if you don't want to tell somebody in your direct league, you can tell people at the office. You can tell people all around town. Let people know about the show. Easiest way to find me is thefantasyfootballshow.com, my name.com, thefantasyfootballshow.com, or smitty1.com. Tell people about the show. Spread the word. Jim Bob, that tattoo you got is nice, bro, says Tribe. Tell your grandma. That's right, Pablo. That's right. All right, guys, I appreciate you. I probably will be back. Subscribe if you're new. We're live Monday through Friday. We are live Monday through Friday. Every single Monday through Friday. 7 p.m. Eastern, and I'm live for emergency live streams no matter what, okay? Something breaks. If A.J. Brown gets traded, your boy Smitty goes live like that, like I did. If DK gets traded, which hasn't happened yet and probably won't happen now, let's say DK signs his extension, your boy Smitty goes live. When Watson got traded, your boy Smitty went live. When Deebo Samuel was reportedly falsely traded to the New England Patriots. All right, we got one more call. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. What can I do for you?
Here's a report over here. And I'm like, okay.
Hello? McFly? That person continues to call. Later, everybody.